All right, guys, you just watched part one of Behind the Screen with professional coach Eli the Ninja, and now it's time for part two. Now it's time to increase your knowledge base. It's going to be behind the screen. This time we're going into the film review. Eli the Ninja literally sat here for an hour dealing with me. I don't know how. Now we're going to sit here and do some film review. This is going to be game 4, G1 versus Cloud9, King of the Hill. G1 has to win this game in order to stay alive in the series, to force that game number 5. If they lose right here, they are going down in pool play and going to have a much worse seeding than expected at the Halo World Championship. Again, this is just at Seattle mainstream. You're going to hear a little bit of casting. I'm going to probably turn it down just a little bit. So we're focused on the actual film, and we're going to find out how Gamers First were able to either win or lose against Cloud9 and what's going through their head. So before we actually get there, Eli, King of the Hill, tell me about our approach going in. What are we looking to accomplish going into King of the Hill Recharge on a macro sense?
So, I mean, any game type on Recharge or any map and mode on this game for that matter, obviously you want to control the sandbox. The shock rifle is insanely powerful in the competitive, like high end of the competitive level, because anyone who's mechanically skilled can pop off and get insane killing sprees as long as they position themselves well. So obviously the shock rifle is going to be a big part of our game plan here. Getting the camo as much as possible, but believe it or not, it's not as important as like an overshield would be on another map, in my opinion. You can still make a lot of insane plays with camo, don't get me wrong, but I think the overshield is just a little bit more impactful. But the shock rifle is the biggest part of the sandbox we want to control here. As far as in King, on every map, there should be ideal locations that you want to spawn for each individual hill. So we do have a game plan for like which part of the map we want to control during each stage of the game, as far as like which hill it currently is on. And then in King, there's also like clock play. So I don't know if they're going to change it for season 2, but obviously if you can go up in the hills, sometimes it's actually better to not go for the hill because the timer will keep ticking. And if you have like a 2-hill advantage on Recharge specifically, I think you can just play the clock almost always and win the game that way. So I'm actually glad we picked this game because King of the Hill is one of the most strategically important game modes. Like you actually have to have a game plan for every single hill and different situations that can happen. Like you need to also, if the other team has a hill, you need to have a plan for how to, most effectively break their setup to potentially get the point. There's also decision making when it comes to just giving up certain hills and setting up for the next. So yeah, we'll go into a lot of strategy with this one.
Yeah, there's also another reason why I picked this game type. I do another series called How to Get Better at Halo in 3 Minutes, and I think the next one's going to be Strongholds on Live Fire, and the one after that is going to be King of the Hill 1 Recharge. So you guys expect that coming out with the next
You're
few
cheating
weeks.
Right now. you're picking my brain so that you can figure out what to put in your video.
For the Strongholds, Live Fire, I think I'm working with Necessity on that one, and now I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna give you credit on the video. I promise. I give you credit.
All right.
All right. So, starting strat right off the rip, like you said before, controlling the shock rifle. Camouflage not being as important, maybe a little bit more important off the starting strat because you're able to maybe turn into something else, maybe. And just gaining as much as possible before we even get to that hill. We need to secure slaves. We need to secure resources, and of course we start with Cloud9. Of course. Okay.
Yeah. This is interesting. The opening strat for them. They're one of the teams that switch up their opening strat more than just about any other team. So it's kind of like a guessing game. Like, okay, how many are they sending bottom middle? How many are they sending to blue? So there's kind of a little chess match going on. We've played each other many times on this game mode. I would say overall this opening is fairly even. I think we ultimately get the first hill time though. And here I want to highlight Devin's movement. Just watch the way he approaches this scenario. Because he's one of the most tactically gifted players in the game, in my opinion. Just has like a extremely good spatial awareness. So right there he backs down from Penguin because he knows that Penguin is trying to bait a sight line for his team to kill him right there. But he wisely moves to the sneaky to get that kill.
We got him 3 down here.
In this hill, Yeah, and this hill we want to hold C plat because it's just you have the best sight lines to, you know, shoot at gold. You have close access to the hill. You can shoot anybody out of the hill if your hill guy gets approached. So here we ideally want to control C plat before we even get hill time.
With that C platter, we try to also put somebody on top glass. Like where else are we putting one person to support that C plat player? Where we ultimately wanted to be?
Yeah, glass is another great spot because you can watch the Mangler door, which is the next biggest threat to the hill guy. So I think C plat and top glass are kind of two important points for this setup, especially because the second hill moves to long haul. So for the long haul setup, you wanna definitely have glass control. So that's definitely a big part. Honestly, this entire game mode, I think top glass is a good place to be. If you can control the gold area and top glass, like no matter what the hill is, it's probably a good place to be. Unless the hill is bottom A, I think that's the only place that doesn't necessarily matter. You do have a good entry point from like gold pipe door from there, but just about every other hill you want to have top gold. Right now, Stellar has top gold, which makes it a little bit easier for Eco to maneuver here, but we still spot him out. See some of Squale's accuracy displayed there.
He milked a lot of time in that hill too. Like two people around him, he's bobbing and weaving. That was some good. That's a good little milk there.
Yeah, see, Cloud9 has the same strat as us. You see how they spawned us at A, and they're holding the C area. They were actually not getting any hill time now because they didn't necessarily need to. They wanted to make sure we spawned up at A and got a sense of what we were doing before they made a move. And now Stellar makes his move through C plat to kind of push us back into A. This is a good play by him.
Good nades. Okay.
Devin with the Devin actually did an insta-splode right there to get him to one shot and then hit him with the headshot. It was really clean. Walshy inspired play there.
You already know. You already know. This is why I get a little bit scared though. We're down 0-1 right now with hill, and we're not set up for the next hill. I always say it's not the end of the world if you go down one hill in King of the Hill, but you can't lose back to back. So at a certain point, we got to give up on that hill. We got to set up for next one. And I don't know if Cloud9 maybe didn't give you the leeway to do that, or maybe we thought we could have fought for that a little bit earlier. But as of right now, Cloud9 took that hill and they're already set up for the next one. That seems like a little bit of trouble. Is he a little dangerous?
Does, but at the same time, we did a lot of research on. Obviously, like I said, I'm watching every team scrims, so I noticed a trend with this game type, and it's like at a very high frequency, probably 80% or more. The team that gets the first hill also gets the second hill.
Ouch.
And just understanding that kind of gives you the confidence to know that, like, okay, it's almost expected after they get the first hill that they get the second hill. So if we can somehow miraculously get the second hill after they got the first, then that's just like a huge win for us. But because it's not even expected, our game plan might just shift to like, okay, let's get the next two hills, which would be A and Needles. So like earlier I said that if you go down two hills in this game mode, it's usually when the score is 3-1. That's when you play time. But if it goes 2-1, you're still in it. So like, even if we lose this long haul hill, we know that by getting that third hill, we're still in the game.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're not giving up yet. I mean, I see G1 and Dev. I'm sorry, Swish and Dev pushing hard toward that glass side. I would imagine. So, I would imagine on this hill, you want to have somebody placed on Sneaky. You want to have someone placed on glass, and obviously somebody in the hill. When you're trying to break that setup, are we focusing on that glass side of the map? What are we looking to do when we break that setup? That's exactly what happened with you guys. You guys were, you guys are forced to break Cloud9 setup. What's our approach there?
So I'm gonna say this to help all of my teammates in matchmaking that I see make the same mistake in this exact scenario. Okay, so the other team has control of the hill, the second hill on recharge, right? Most of the time, if the team's holding the setup properly, you spawn at A. So if you spawn at the A side of the map, the mistake I see a lot of people make is they go straight through the control tower, through C plat, and then they just get naded to death, and they have no good sight lines to approach the hill because, like you said, they're probably going to have a guy sneaky. They're going to have a guy at top glass and
Yeah.
heaven.
You're
They
isolated.
might even have a guy bat ledge. Yeah, the bat ledge guy is like cross shooting you as well if they're holding the pipes properly. So the best way to do it, as long as like there's still a decent amount of time on the hill, you have to take the long route. Go through gold pipes, go through the top gold area, and you have to kill that guy glass first. If you can get control of that area first, you open up the rest of the map for your team to push through the middle of the map. So like without getting control of at least bat ledge or top glass, like constantly pushing through C plat, you're just gonna die repeatedly. So that's why you see Devin, yeah, like you said right there, Devin looks like he made a long push. He actually probably spawned A here and then made a long push through gold, get control of that region, which you know, right now Cloud9's not getting time because he made that decision. Squale actually has an opening to go through bottom mid to get another angle on the hill here. So see that in action.
So somebody try to force that glass side. Somebody maybe pushing over towards that trippy quarter side to support him as they break through, and that's going to be your primary, I guess, push or your primary damage dealers to go in to get that guy off of glass and hopefully try to throw off their timing and their flow. And I think it's fundamental, but again, a lot of times, like you said, in ranked matchmaking, the reason why you're losing is because you're not playing fundamentally. There's you got the shot, you got the talent, but you're just systematic or fundamentally playing it wrong. Cloud9 go 3 down right there. You guys take over. Obviously Cloud9 are gonna try to break it before you get set up locked in, because I feel like you can get over towards this long haul side, but unless you have somebody that sneaky, unless you have somebody in class, you're not locked. It's almost like an MMA. You know, if someone gets you in a submission, until they get that choke locked in, you can maneuver a little bit. You can get out of it. You got to try to get it before, because once that setup gets locked in, that's where it's tough. And as of right now, it's getting there. It looks like that submission is getting locked in right now. Booba Dooba's managed sneaky. You got someone over to the hill. Obviously got to go for the camo. I'm liking it so far. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at this level, like the skill is very close. So like all these guys can 4-shot you. All these guys can pull off insane plays. So the team that often wins are the teams that take better routes off their spawn. And work together more effectively. And here I think Booba might get an overkill. Yep.
Wow.
Really sick ammo overkill. And I think this, yeah, now we're purposefully spawning them A by standing on certain parts of the map. And you see them pushing through control tower. This is what I said not to do, right? Is push through control tower. So let's see how effectively Cloud9 make this happen.
At the trade.
Granted, I think that like because Cloud9 is so skilled individually, they can get away with suboptimal plays more often than other teams, and honestly that is what has led to a lot of their success. Is even when they're making suboptimal plays, they often get away with it. But against a team like G1 full of shooters like us, you're not going to get away with making mistakes like that. As you see, we just wiped them and punished them for making the bad call there.
Well, you put Cloud9 forward down. They desperate it over toward the long haul side. You guys were able to wipe them out. Now, I want to talk about two things real quick. Cloud9 punching this hill. They're giving up. At this point, you got Penguin already setting up over towards the top Tony, because we're going to call that Tony. We're not talking Heaven anymore. We're talking about calling that Tony. You got Stella already sitting towards the top A, 2 people over the hill. They're getting into their defensive stance. But one thing I do love, obviously, is again fundamentals. You guys are pushing out too. So again, we're gonna try to put pressure on them before they get locked in. It looks like they're almost there. But you have Squale and Swish already pushing through gold. Devin already putting pressure towards control. Booba Dooba's gonna finish this out. I would almost say it's almost worth it to maybe have Booba Dooba step out of this hill for a second. Let them get a little bit closer and then finish it. But again, that's I see EU United do that a lot. Ryan loves doing that. But again,
yeah.
but
we were
again,
the first team to do that in the Super. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. You said you guys were?
We kind of we actually taught them. we taught the world that at the Super, because that was our secret strat. Was like when the other team set up, just step out and don't finish that last second until you get a pick.
That's big.
We actually did it against Cloud9 in the Super when the hill was in A, because they were already giving up and setting up for the next. So then we just wait and then let Squale get a pick with the shock rifle, and then then we finished the hill, and then we set up when we have numbers. So yeah, I agree. I think right here Boo Boo should have actually stepped foot out for a moment before we finish this, because they're already all set up at A. This is actually the hardest hill to break into, just because like you have to go through all these tiny doors to get into this area. There's very specific choke points that are very easy to control. We do our best here. Boo Boo cleans up, but ultimately it's not enough to secure control. Yeah. Like this hill, if the other team already has it and they're good and they control the right sight lines, they will very likely finish this. But you can see we're already I think we're pushing back through pipes here because we Boo Boo at least got one kill. So
Ooh.
we know that that teammate, if we keep pushing, will spawn out. And not be able to help. So even the first spawners, when they spawn, just rush the hill. It looks like we actually get some really good kills here, and we somehow get control.
That's a big break.
Just barely
Off
missed
of a
that
3
headshot there.
down, that's a big break right there. And now, and like you said, not all hills are created equal. So this hill, once you have it like locked in, it's almost a guarantee. And Cloud9 weren't able to do it. So now you guys have an opportunity to. I mean, that was a fresh 3 down, another 2 down. Like this might be your hill right here. Wow, stolen.
Yeah, we definitely get like this is another situation that like you turn a very low probability situation into your favor, and it gives you a lot of confidence, right? Like when all 4 of their team are alive and they have control of this hill, they should probably get this hill. I would say upwards 70-80% of the time.
Yeah.
So when we get a clean break and then we get the hill, it's like okay, like we had to work for that, we deserved it, and we got it. So it's definitely a big difference maker there. Bound though with some cheeky movement here, looks like he's fucking us up. That was a huge double kill by Bound, but we ultimately still got the point.
And not only able to get the point, but you were already set up towards the next hill as well, which again, you know what you usually have to dedicate a lot of resource to locking down this A side. You guys were able to do it, able to move over toward that C side. Now eventually Bound gets that nasty double kill. If that doesn't happen, who knows? You guys might be able to push control, get some more support over toward the C side. Cloud9 able to break, but still, I would say that's still a big that's still big that you're able to take A. Start setting up towards that next hill. You have a 2-1 lead against Cloud9 right now, and a very good King of the Hill team. And you did it off of breaking them off of that A side. That's pretty crazy. Now, if you don't mind me, so we talked about the set. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was like, we talked about the setup on A side. I was going to ask, what is our goal here on C side? Where do we want players planted? At least two or about 3 planted when we're setting up over towards the C side hill.
I would say like standing up, I guess, like 30 feet in front of where Bound is standing, like in front of the doorway that goes to Long Haul. Yeah, right in that area. Because that's going to block the Long Haul spawns and the C spawns at the same time. Like if you're standing in this region, the game will probably not spawn anybody Long Haul or C plat from here. So you're trying to keep them from spawning here. You also want to hold a guy like top gold because he, like, ideally you want the other team to spawn A here so that you can shoot them as they cross. So the guy top gold is locked in on top A cross or top A catwalk and the Mangler door. So he can shoot anybody that's trying to get into the BR or control tower. Then obviously the guy in the hill. And the last guy just kind of wants to be a nuisance, like getting behind them and helping that gold guy finish kills in the control tower. You do want to have control of this BR tower area as well, or at least the choke point that goes from BR tower to C plat. Because obviously this hill guy is pretty exposed. Like if the other team gets to bottom middle or the stacks area, that hill guy is in danger of dying very easily. And that's another hill that's pretty hard to break if the other team has it off the rip and you're spawning at A. So like ideally you have to do the same thing. You have to take your time, go through gold pipes to get control before you can go for it. Now that Cloud9 got that hill and the hill's here, obviously you want to have A spawns. So you want to have a guy that's like top A catwalk shooting like across long haul, keeping people out of the BR tower. This hill is also extremely hard. I'd say this hill and the bottom mid hill are the 2 hardest hills to get on this game type. Just because this area is so exposed, it's so easy to throw grenades here. If you get like the disruptor or the shock rifle, you can shock the pad and damage to anybody that's within any part of this hill. So this is a very tough one to have. That's why, like, if you go up 3-1 in this game mode, you win so often is because the two hardest hills to get are this one and bottom middle. Those are the 5th and 6th hills in the rotation. So that's why it's so easy to play time once you get to this hill if you have a lead. But obviously in this case, we're tied, so we don't have that luxury to play time. So we have to just fight for this. Oftentimes the team that wins this hill is going to win the game because, like I said, that last hill is so hard to get that if you can land this one with 2 minutes on the clock, you're probably going to win the game.
So you kind of alluded to it a little bit. So when I actually do this video, we're gonna edit a an overlay map and talk about where the players should be. So again, 2 or 3 players. I'm assuming this A spawn is gonna be important. So I'm assuming that that top A is gonna be important. Where else do we want players to be on this hill right here?
Yeah, so when and I want to kind of back this up just so other
Mhm.
people can kind of answer these questions on their own without just like the cheat sheet, like stand here and here. You want to think about, okay, what are the easiest entry points to this hill? So obviously gold pipes, right? There's a door directly to Devin's right here. If someone came through, he would be shooting him in the side of the head. So you want to have a guy that's kind of controlling that region. He can kind of cycle between bat ledge and top gold. He doesn't necessarily have to go all the way to top gold here. Like if he just holds bat ledge, like Devin has a sight line on this guy glass. He can shoot this guy as soon as he approaches. He can shoot the guy long haul. He's controlling his deep angles and trusting his teammates to control the doorways that lead directly to where he's at. Another easy spot to shoot this hill from is the BR or control tower. So like the guy could just shoot directly across mid bridge on Devin's left here. So ideally you want to have a guy that's also in control tower that keeps the other team from getting in there. But you can play this hill a number of different ways. You can hold deep angles from different regions that just like, you know, prevent the other team from making any progress towards the hill. It just makes it that much harder for them to get any control. But here, like, we realize that they're in gold pipes. Devin and Jesse have great teamwork to push together there. Finish that kill, but it looks like somebody did get behind us. They do ultimately get goal, at least momentarily.
And now we just went 4 down. It looks like we're pushed over towards the goal side.
Yeah,
It's so tough.
It is really hard to push from that region. You kind of have to like get a pick before you make any. But like I said, it's also really easy to. Oh, you need to pay for the. You need to sub.
I need the Twitch Turbo. Oh my gosh! I'm so mad. I meant to buy Turbo before this video because this happened to me when I was reviewing it earlier, and I totally forgot. We're gonna cut that part out. I'm so sorry.
No, you're all good. But yeah, like I said, even though it's hard for us to approach this hill, it's also hard for them to stay in the hill because I mean if we go 4 dead, we spawn with 8 grenades in our pocket collectively. And if you just look at this hill, I mean, it's very easy to throw grenades at. There's not many places that you can hide from grenades. Kind of have to do a little dance in there. It looks like we're fighting for control of this gold pipes area as well. Both teams you'll see constantly teams fighting for this gold pipes area because it's often a difference maker for this hill. Here we get the camo. We know this guy's one shot. I think, yeah, we're nearly securing this hill. Got 2 dead. We're all 4 up. Like, we should be getting this hill. Yep, we do finish it. And now we have the option, right? We can play for time or we can go for this last point. I think the higher percentage play is to play time if there's less than 1:30 on the clock, but it's kind of borderline, right? Like, it kind of depends on the exact situation. If they just went 4 dead, we can probably afford to go ahead and get some time just to put that much more pressure on them. In this case, it looks like we already made the call to play time because I think 1:30 is a good rule of thumb for that amount. All we have to do is control space around the map and have sight lines to the bottom of the map to stop them from getting this last point.
Yeah, this middle hill may
hold
not
them
be
out
as
for another 50 seconds. We just win.
Yeah, it may not be as punishing as like Schweetz is on that mid hill, but it's pretty like from any sight line, you know, like you get if you die, you spawn, you get an angle towards that hill. So I agree. I think 1:30. I think you played the time, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. 3 down, big plays.
Yeah, we just, I don't know if you were paying attention, but we just like got 4 dead. I think we've gotten like 8 kills unanswered. We got like 9 kills now unanswered without any of us dying. and the time's just ticking the whole time. Like we're not really giving them an option to come back. Oh my god, that shot was ridiculous too. I don't even remember that, bro.
Hold on, it's a little scary now. You guys just got 3 down, but look how much time you ate at. 11 seconds.
We forced them. Yeah, we forced them to be in a position where if they don't play perfect for the rest of this game, they lose.
What was the wait? Hold on. What?
Yeah, so
Dude,
his repulse. Yeah, that was a bug. I think he got.
Yeah, he didn't repulse him.
Bullshit.
Hold on. Look.
He knew the sticky was coming. And it sticks him through the wall and doesn't get repulsed.
I thought this was land.
Yeah, I mean, this game's still a little wonky sometimes. But yeah, even though this is where it starts getting scary, you know, like I said, they had to play perfect for the rest of the time. You see how patient we played, though? They went straight through pipes, didn't jump bat ledge. We kill this guy, and we probably win the game. Yeah. So they spawned A and went all the way around. A lot of teams would panic right there, right? They're like, "Oh, they're getting time. Let's go straight for hill." But we took the long route because we knew they weren't expecting it, and we knew we just had to get them out for 10 seconds.
Look at that, trying to be
Very
cheeky
close.
with the camo.
Then, yeah, I respect that. I respect that.
Wow.
Very close.
And
yeah,
and just to
5.
Yeah, just to remind you guys, that was game 4. In pool play, obviously, but again, a very important matchup that's going to determine seeding going into bracket play. Game 4, fighting for their series live, able to get the win, able to force that game number 5. You got Eco over here pissed. Look at him. And that's the maddest I've ever seen him. He's pretty composed right now. I'm not gonna lie, but
you could tell he was actually pretty shaken. You could tell he was shaking a bit. Spoiler alert: they did beat us, but. In the post-game interview,
I was gonna lie and say you won.
Nah, that's where we lost. But yeah, Eco. I could tell in the post-game interview, Eco was a little flustered from that. He didn't want it to go to Game 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's dangerous. You know, at that point, it's scary to go to Game 5 with anyone. They didn't want to go to Game 5 against Fnatic back in Anaheim. They didn't want to go to Game 5. No, nobody wants to go to Game 5. And it's dangerous. Eventually, Cloud9 able to come out with the win, like you said, but you guys fought well, and again, it's been so exciting and an honor, in fact, to see you guys progress. So we're talking about for the first tournament of Halo Infinite, top 48 to second place in the North American Super, to qualifying for Worlds, to taking multiple teams, multiple times, Sentinels, Cloud9, not able to beat them back to back in that NA Super, but to able to take them Game 5 on land and being 1-2 kills away from knocking down some of the best. It's been amazing seeing your guys' growth, and I'm excited for season 2, man. Season 2 is going to be just a bunch of freaking dreamers like you have on your hat. Just a bunch of dreamers looking to make a difference, man. And I'm excited.
Yeah, me too, man. It's going to be a bloodbath next season for sure. There's still so many questions in the air. Like we don't even know what half of the rosters are going to look like. More than half. I think realistically, the only 2 teams that stay the same are Optic and Cloud9. Maybe also Native Red. But outside of those 3 teams, I think every single team changes. FaZe could potentially stay together, but I don't know. I've been hearing some things. So we don't know what the rosters look like. We don't know how teams are going to play on Argyle. This new map throws kind of a monkey wrench in the equation for all these teams. I mean, we're in for a treat next season. It'll be really interesting to see how everything shakes out.
Well, it's been great. It's been great talking to Eli. We talked for about an hour during the interview. We talked a little bit here during. I want to say this might have been a good 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more. It's been an honor. I would love to have you back on for any future show. To be honest with you, do you have any final words for anybody? Where can they find you? On social media. Anything you want to say to the fans of Eli, the fans of G1 back home?
Yeah, man. I mean, I stream. I'm starting to stream a bit more now. My channel is just Eli the Ninja, twitch.tv/Eli the Ninja. I'm also going to start doing Metafy lessons. If you like this breakdown, I'm already on Metafy. I just got to reactivate it. I kind of had some other things to focus on for a while, but I'm about to put that back out there. If you want to be my personal student, I do really enjoy coaching. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I think I'm pretty good at it. Anybody that's had my lessons will tell you the same. So if you want to improve your game, let me know. I'd also love to be on your stream again, Tony, whenever. We also got to get some poker games in person.
Sure.
You were late to the poker game at was that Seattle or Orlando? They're all kind of blended together.
Seattle. I went out to eat.
Seattle.
I came back and the game was over. I was like, damn, man, I only went to dinner.
Bro, we had Lucid and Formal playing with us. Man, it was a fun poker game. So hopefully we'll get some more poker games together for next season. But yeah, man, whenever you want to have me, just hit me up.
Thank you so much again, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Eli the Ninja, now Eli the Sensei. Make sure you hit him up on Metafy. Whatever he's charging, he should be charging 10x, 100-fold, because it's damn near worth it. If you gain anything from this video, which was just 30 minutes, just imagine what we can do with you in an hour, 2, 3, or 4. Make sure you hit him up on the socials as well. Exclamation mark gamers first in the chat right now. We give away a bunch of G Fuel stuff and also some Amazon gift cards. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm gonna go play. We're not done, by the way. I'm gonna go play some ranked and whatnot, and try. I'm gonna try to get as good as G1 by the end of the day. We'll see how that works.